So how does Debbie have tomatoes on February 2nd? Well, it's not that we grew them. We don't have a hothouse or a greenhouse like Bobby does, Bobby the gardener does. What we did, we have a friend though that went to Florida, and his brother gave him these tomatoes. And he knew that I've been very, very sad because what I did have in dehydrated tomatoes, I turned into powder. And I've really been needing some chunks for some of my food. So, what I got this gizmo, it's pretty neat. My friend Lisa from school gave it to me as a gift one day. And this thing cuts like crazy. But I want you to see I would say it's about a little bit less than 1/4 inch. And I think when I first started dehydrating tomatoes, I made a big mistake. One thing I kept doing was cutting these tomatoes way too small. And, you know, thin, and they would just become absolutely nothing. They're like paper sheets, and they would stick to my mats here, and just causing me all kinds of trouble, and I didn't like that. So it took me a while to get used to cutting my tomatoes. Now what I do, I've already washed these, but there's a few with a few boo-boos, and I go and I try to cut those boo-boos out, because I don't want anything in my stored food that maybe shouldn't be there. And I cut this middle part right here. I cut the core, as they say, out. Then what I do is I put this little head on it, like that, and I can pick it up, and watch how cool this thing is. I don't know what it's called. It's just, my friend gave it to me. I think she found it at a garage sale. She knows I'm a lunatic when it comes to dehydrating food. Since I got my Excalibur, I think I'm just, you know, the cat's meow. And another thing, don't crowd these trays. You know, you don't want to do that. So I got about, I guess I got 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 slices on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Put the lid on. And this set for vegetables will go to $1.25. So we'll do that again. We're gonna, nice thick slices. You don't want them too thin. I'll tell you, I did that just, I made the biggest mistake. One time it was so thin, I barely got it off of the, you know, once it dehydrated, I barely got them off these sheets. So you gotta be careful about that. And get all the boo-boos off that you can. Like I said, I core mine. Now I have actually had friends that tell me they don't even bother coring, but I do. Alright? And then this looks like a little hat. And then what I do, boy, that bird of mine is just going berserk, isn't he? It sits like that. I learned the hard way too. Don't put your hand in the way of these see, like that. Don't take your hand and play with it. You can't. Oh, that was nice. I threw it. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to dehydrate that. Now, that might take a little bit longer than the regular tomato, but that bird is sure persistent. I used to have a dog that was, I don't know, it was like she had a second sense or something. She could always tell when something was wrong. And if she carried on like that, I knew that there was probably a tornado in the making. And we could tell the weather by how our dog Chewy would act. Strange as that may seem. And don't forget, we're city people. We weren't taught to watch the animals. But on YouTube, I have learned from a lot of people that yes, you do watch the animals. The animals just have a second sense to things. Oh, these are going to be beautiful, and I'm going to be so happy because I was really out of tomatoes. That'll be the last time I ever do that. I dehydrated everything, and then I powdered it. I wanted to clarify something. I had told you earlier that I had dehydrated all my tomatoes. That wasn't a bad thing. Dehydrating my tomatoes wasn't bad. But what I did was, I didn't save any of them for, like, you know, pieces. I powdered everything. And that's not a good idea, because I want to sometimes rehydrate them, like pieces like this, or even break them up and be able to have chunks in food too. So I should have done that, but I dehydrated and powdered everything. And with this is what's left over, and we don't have a waste policy, or we have a no waste policy here. If we don't eat it, the chickens do. Nothing gets thrown away if it's edible. You see, these dried pretty good. Alright. I'm going to turn them over just to be sure. They sound pretty dry to me, but I'm just going to be a little careful. Give it a few more minutes. There we go. It's the end product, and then I'll put them in a jar or mylar. Put in an oxygen absorber, and we'll be done. I got tomato slices, yay! So it's been approximately 8 hours. Just 8 hours. That's not bad. Alright. Thank you, folks. Have a good day. See you later.